8.6's sponsor PCBWay is far and away one of the coolest in my biased and humble opinion. Designing custom PCB has never been easier. If you have an idea, PCBWay can help you implement that idea and put it to practical use. Select your sizing, material, colors, quantity, quality, all in one spot. You don't have to have a factory or to start from scratch in a garage anymore. Get your idea out of your head and build something to use. Check out the link down below to get started. Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 8.6. Oh, I'm excited to try to grow into some of this new stuff for me. For me, it's new. The world of turntable speakers, preamps, amps, receivers is a detailed world. On the surface, not so much, but in practice it can get pretty deep, and I'm not looking to go to that crushing depth. I snagged the BestBuy Insignia turntable I found while shopping for a replacement AT3600L needle, and I realized that for about the price of 60 bucks, you get that needle with an entire turntable that offered some pretty neat capabilities, so let's go into that right now. It's a simple belt drive turntable with a metal platter. Installing the belt and band is super easy. You just put your thumb in there and snag it across the ring, drop it on the spindle and put it on the motor, and bam, you're good to go. The overall construction of the turntable is beyond what I expected. It's got cushy rubber sound vibration absorbent feet, 4 of them in total, a sturdy durable shell, a dust cover to protect the entirety of the table, a beautiful tone arm, and just has overall great construction quality, especially compared to something like my Audio-Technica LP60X, which just kind of feels like a plastic toy. While it's pretty functional, really good turntable in my opinion, it does feel like a plasticky toy. This definitely feels a lot more quality and stable to me. The tone arm is really easy to balance. All you have to do is get it to where it's level when you put the weight on the back, and then hold the weight and adjust it to 0 grams once it's level balanced like that. Then you can adjust the weight on the back that's being distributed to the needle, which will be about 2.5 to 3 grams for the Audio-Technica 3600L needle, and then you're good to go. One of the other things I want to mention about this real quick is though it's Best Buy's house brand Insignia, there's no branding on it, which is great. The only branding is on the slip mat itself, but you can flip that over to have a black slip mat on there or replace it with a different slip mat later down the road. So if you don't want people to be like, oh, that's a neat looking turntable, what is it? You don't even be like, I don't know where I got it. But I'll tell you right now, it's Insignia. I don't know who their OEM is, but they did a good job with it. So on the front right section of the turntable are the controls for the internal preamp. So for instance, if you're broadcasting Bluetooth out, which is relatively simple, you can do that by pushing down and holding the Bluetooth button for a moment. It'll flash between blue and red while it's trying to pair. And any Bluetooth speakers that are capable of receiving a signal will eventually pair. It'll turn solid blue and indicate with a sound. You can then use the volume control on the preamp Bluetooth out right there to turn the volume up, independent from the speaker's own volume settings. It does the trick pretty well and it sounds pretty nice. If you just want to hear a sample real quick of what the preamp broadcast out sounds like, we'll compare it between the Edifier E25s and the Bestison SRO2s right now. I'll be using a song called Sweet by an artist named Liquid on a permission granted album that I have created in order to do these demos. The back is relatively simple. You have your input for the actual power itself. You have left-right RCA, which is your red and white input. And then there's a phono toggle back there, which is great because if you want to go high-fidelity sound from the needle direct to speakers through a receiver or something and you have a phono input on a receiver, set it to that and then listen to the beautiful sound of how vinyl was meant to be listened to over phono. It's worth noting here that a downside is there's no ground connection in the back. You'll have to get a little creative with grounding the turntable if you decide to go phono. So as I mentioned earlier on, the tone arm is equipped with an Audio-Technica 3600L needle. It's pretty standard. They're pretty easy to find. They cost about $20 to replace. And one comes on this turntable, which for a total price of $60 right now, and it has been for a while, so I wanted to share this in case anybody's interested in getting into turntables. This might be a good place to start. The turntable itself features 33 amp 45 speeds located via the 2-way dial in the front right. The turntable is a manual turntable. It doesn't feature any kind of automatic features other than auto shut off when it gets close. If you pull the arm all the way back over to the right, it'll also shut off then, but once the arm's over the table engages. When the arm gets in far enough, it toggles a disable, which will stop the platter from spinning. Everything else in between though is manual. You have to lift it up and put it over there and start it. It's a larger turntable than I thought based on looking at the pictures. It's got a 14-inch depth and a 17-inch length, and it stands about 5 inches high, but it looks really nice. I wasn't initially a fan of the tinted dust cover, but it's kind of grown on me. I like the clear dust cover where I can see in and see my pretty vinyl, and that's something that's going to obscure my ability to look at it. This thing is a steal if it stays on sale for that $60 price range, and I'm gotta got to point you to it. I've got to say, man, if you want to try it, you don't know what you want to get, maybe start with this one. Save yourself a few bucks, find out if you're going to like it, and get into it. And if you are, then expand from there. This is a pretty fantastic turntable for almost no money. For the price of 3 replacement needles is what this costs, at least right now. The price may go back up. They may discontinue the model. I really don't know, have no clue. But right now, it's been on sale. It is on sale, and hopefully it'll continue to be on sale. It's a nice turntable with 0 branding on it, and a good one to start with, I believe. You guys have a great day, night, whatever it is. Hopefully I answered some questions for you, and I'll talk to you in the next video that I do.